You have no eyes, no voice, no name. You don't know borders. You don't understand flags. You have never heard the word money. And yet, every war fought in the last 100 years was fought because of you. You are not a weapon. You are not a soldier. You are something far more powerful. You are crude oil, and right now, you are sleeping, buried beneath 3 kilometers of sand and limestone in the dark belly of the Arabian desert where no human hand has ever reached. You have been here for 300 million years, patient, dense, waiting, but somewhere above you, a drill is turning. Your journey is about to begin, and once it starts, it never stops. Level 1, the sleeping giant. Down here there is no sound, only pressure. You are not a liquid yet, not entirely. You are a dense, ancient memory. The compressed remains of prehistoric algae, zooplankton, and marine life that died before humans ever walked upright. The earth swallowed them, cooked them, crushed them for millennia under layers of sedimentary rock until they became something new, something volatile. You exist in a reservoir, a porous sandstone pocket the size of a small city, alongside billions of your kind. The temperature around you is 90 degrees Celsius. The pressure is so intense that if a crack opened above you, you would explode upward with the force of a geyser. You smell of sulfur, of salt, of something ancient and wrong. You don't know it yet, but you are the most valuable substance on the surface of this planet. Governments have collapsed for you. Families have been buried for you. Entire generations have been born into poverty or obscene wealth because of where you happen to sit in the ground. Above you, a drill bit the size of a dining table is chewing through limestone at 3 meters per hour. It has been drilling for 6 weeks. On the surface, men in hard hats drink bitter coffee and watch gauges. One of them, a Texan engineer named Dale, hasn't seen his daughter in 4 months. He is $200,000 in debt to a Houston investment firm that financed this rig. He needs you to be real. The drill breaks through. You rise. Level 2, the wound in the earth. The first thing you feel is freedom. For 300 million years, you were compressed, confined, locked in stone. Now the pressure releases and you surge upward through the drill pipe like something feral and long-caged. You hit the surface in a violent hissing eruption, black and steaming, spraying across the sand in a dark mist. The men cheer. Dale is on the phone within seconds. His voice shakes, not from fear, from relief, from money. You are pumped into what they call a separator, a steel cylinder that strips away the natural gas and water mixed into you. What remains is raw crude, black gold, Texas tea. Here, in Saudi Arabia, you are Arab Light, sweet crude with low sulfur content, the most desirable variety on Earth. A tanker truck arrives within hours. You are loaded, along with millions of barrels of your kind, into a pipeline that stretches 1,200 kilometers to the port city of Ras Tanura on the Persian Gulf. The pipeline hums. You move at walking pace, 4 kilometers per hour, through the desert dark. Dale flies home to Houston. His daughter has learned to walk while he was gone. He cries in the airport parking lot. He doesn't know your name, he never will, but his mortgage is safe because of you. You don't care. You are already gone. Level 3, the port of no return. Ras Tanura is the largest oil export terminal on Earth. From above, it looks like a metallic city built solely for your kind. A cathedral of pipes, storage tanks the size of football stadiums, and loading arms that reach out over the Gulf like mechanical priests offering communion. You spend 11 days in a storage tank with 500,000 barrels of crude oil. The air above you shimmers with hydrocarbon fumes. Seagulls avoid this place. The smell is thick, petroleum and brine and the distant diesel exhaust of supertankers idling offshore. Then you are pumped, along with 2 million barrels, into the hull of a VLCC, a very large crude carrier. The ship is called Al-Amal, Arabic for hope. The irony will become clear later. The tanker's draft drops as you fill the cargo holds. It now sits 22 meters below the waterline, a floating island of flammable consequence. The crew are Filipino, Indonesian, Croatian. They earn $800 a month to transport a cargo worth $140 million. The manifest says, destination, Rotterdam, Netherlands. But somewhere between the Persian Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz, two men in a government building in Washington, D.C. are having a conversation that will change your route entirely. Level 4, the Strait of Power. 20% of the world's oil passes through here. The Strait of Hormuz is only 33 kilometers wide at its narrowest point. On one shore, Oman. On the other, Iran. In between, you. Millions of barrels of you. Every single day, moving in slow convoy through water that multiple nations have threatened to mine, blockade, or bomb depending on the week's politics. This is where you understand, for the first time, what you truly are. You are not fuel. You are not energy. You are a hostage. Navies escort your tanker through. An American destroyer runs parallel, a kilometer off the port bow. Its radar sweeps. Its guns are live. The sailors aboard are 19, 20, 21 years old. They are here because of you. Their presence costs the American taxpayer $2.3 million per day. Somewhere below the surface, an Iranian submarine runs silent. The captain of Al Amal doesn't sleep during the transit. He drinks coffee and watches the radar and thinks about his wife in Cebu City and the house he is building with ocean brick and iron gates. You pass through without incident. This time, the strait behind you, you enter the Arabian Sea. The water turns deep blue. The temperature drops. You have no idea how many people just spent their careers, their marriages, their mental health, managing your safe passage. You don't slow down. You never slow down. Level 5, the refinery. Rotterdam's port complex is the largest in Europe. When Al Amal docks after 22 days at sea, the sky is gray and it is raining. The unloading arms lock onto the ship's manifold and you begin moving again. Through pipes, into storage, then into the coking towers and distillation columns of one of the most sophisticated refineries on Earth. This is where you die and are reborn. Heat strips you apart. At different temperatures, different fractions of you rise, separate, and are collected. The lightest fractions become gasoline, jet fuel, naphtha. The middle fractions become diesel, kerosene, heating oil. The heaviest residues become asphalt, the black skin of every road in Europe. The process smells like burning plastic and scorched metal and something ancient. Workers in flame-resistant coveralls monitor the columns. One of them, a Moroccan man named Yusuf, has worked this refinery for 17 years. His lungs carry a permanent chemical residue. His pension is 3 years away. He will not live to collect it. You emerge from the refinery as multiple products, each sent to different fates. But we follow the fraction that becomes jet fuel, the one that will climb highest and fall hardest. Level 6, the jet that should not fly. You are Jet 01 now, clear, slightly oily to the touch, with a sharp petroleum smell that airport ground crews stop noticing after the first week. You are loaded into the fuel tanks of a Boeing 737 at Amsterdam Schiphol Airport. The aircraft is leased by a regional airline operating under a contract with a logistics firm registered in Cyprus, owned through a shell company in the Cayman Islands, ultimately funded by a sovereign wealth fund that traces back, after 7 corporate layers, to the same desert you were sleeping beneath 6 weeks ago. The circularity is not accidental. The plane flies a route between Amsterdam and a private airstrip in eastern Libya. The cargo hold contains electrical equipment, the manifest says. What the manifest does not say is that 3 of the crates contain components, dual-use technology, that a UN arms panel has been investigating for 4 months. You keep the engines burning at 35,000 feet. The pilots ask no questions. They are paid not to. Level 7, the deal in the dark. The plane lands, the crates are unloaded, and somewhere in Geneva, in a penthouse suite overlooking the lake, a 61-year-old man named Victor signs a contract on cream-colored paper. Victor made his first fortune in the chaos of the Soviet Union's collapse, his second in Iraqi reconstruction contracts, his third, the current one, still accumulating, in what he calls logistical consulting for resource-adjacent environments. His colleagues call it arms brokering. Victor doesn't think of himself as a violent man. He has never fired a weapon. He plays chess. He reads history. He speaks 5 languages. He has 2 daughters in Swiss boarding schools who believe their father works in energy investment. He is not wrong. The money that paid for the crates on that plane, traced carefully, leads back to the sale of crude oil derivatives on the Rotterdam spot market, which traces back to the tanker Al Amal, which traces back to Ras Tanura, which traces back to the drill, which traces back to the desert, which traces back to you. Victor pours himself a scotch and watches the lake. He does not know your name either. None of them do. Level 8. The front line. A militia commander in the Libyan desert receives the equipment 3 days later. His name is irrelevant. He will have 3 different names on 3 different documents. What matters is what the equipment enables. The following week, a town of 40,000 people loses its water supply after a pumping station is destroyed. A hospital runs on generator fuel for 11 days until it runs out. 11 days in the middle of a desert war with no supply lines and no international attention. 4 patients die on the ward when the power cuts. 2 of them are children. This is not reported in any major newspaper. The oil keeps flowing through the pipeline. The market does not react. On the same day, in a Houston suburb, a retired petroleum engineer named Dale fills his car at a gas station. $47.23. He doesn't think about where it came from. Nobody does. Level 9. The boardroom. 62 floors above the city of London, in a glass tower that catches the morning light like a prism, 14 people sit around an oval table. In front of each, a leather-bound report with the quarterly earnings of one of the 5 largest oil companies on Earth. Revenue, $94 billion. Net profit, $11.3 billion. Dividend increase, 4%. There is applause, measured, professional. The kind of applause that costs nothing and means everything to people whose net worth is denominated in the billions. The CEO thanks the shareholders for their continued confidence. He mentions the company's new carbon offset initiative. He mentions the renewable energy division. He mentions the children. He does not mention Libya. He does not mention Victor. He does not mention Dale's lungs or Youssef's lungs or the hospital in the desert. He doesn't need to. The quarterly report doesn't have a column for those. Level 10. The reckoning. You have traveled 15,000 kilometers. You have passed through pipelines, tankers, refineries, shell companies, and war zones. You have been split apart and reconstituted. You have funded a pension and a militia. You have kept a plane in the sky and a generator running until it couldn't. And now, in the engine of a car on a highway outside of London, the last fraction of you burns. The combustion is clean and fast. Carbon dioxide and water vapor. The engine doesn't sputter. The driver doesn't notice. The radio plays something forgettable. You are exhaled into the atmosphere at 15 degrees Celsius on a Tuesday morning, and you join 3 trillion other molecules just like you, circling the planet, trapping heat, slowly, almost imperceptibly, raising the temperature of the same desert where you were born. The same desert where the next drill is already turning. Final reflection. You were born before humans existed. You powered their civilization. You funded their wars. You filled their engines and lined their wallets and paid for their children's schools. The legitimate ones, and the ones built on blood. You didn't choose any of it. You were simply there. And that is the most terrifying thing about you, because the world didn't build its addiction to you out of malice. It built it out of convenience and inertia, and the very human habit of not asking where things come from. The drop of oil never pulled a trigger, but every trigger was pulled because of the drop. The drill is still turning, and somewhere 300 meters below the desert floor, you are still sleeping.